Last week, I bought a whole bunch of romance novels and some other novels at local thrift stores. And usually I would just do a video showing all of them. But I had gotten a whole bunch of 1980s young adult teen romance novels. And I thought, I'll do those as a separate video. So the other books that I bought last week, I'll do those as another video later on. Um, but I thought I would bring some organization to this pile by just having the video focus on mainly these young adult things. Now, I don't know that much about these books, but I do know they were parts of series in the 1980s. And this one here is called Sweet Dreams, and it's book number 46. I believe it came out around 82 or so. Let's see when this one came out. And all of these have a name of the original owner of the book. Or at least most of them do. This one says 1983. Age 11 and up. So it says book number 46. And there's the back cover. This is book number 94 of Sweet Dreams. These look like they're published by Bantam Books. It does say they're YA romance on the spine. Book number 94. There's the back cover. And again, by this time, there's a lot more titles in the series. Published by Bantam. There's the copyright info. See if there's anything on the back. Nope, nothing on the back. Sometimes they'll have like surveys or ads for other books, but those ones didn't. Follow That Boy. That sort of looks like the actress that was in Facts of Life, but who played Blair, but it probably isn't. Sweet Dreams marks a milestone. Book number 100, the teen romance event of the year. More than 20 million copies in print. Sweet Dreams is the world's best-selling teen romances. So this is book number 100. Yeah, so obviously a successful series. Now this is a Sweet Dreams special, so it looks like maybe it's a little thicker than the usual books, maybe slightly. The little name tag is falling off here. Here's a note from the author inside. Which is unusual, I would think. This is for 1986. This mentions a Sweet Dreams miniseries called On Our Own. Put that back in there. Now here's a Sweet Dreams miniseries called Winners. I actually have two of them here. There's the two Winners books that I have. Both by Suzanne Rand. There are the back covers. Let's see if we can get them in better. And then note from the author again. So yeah, it's interesting that this thing of like teen romance novels really took off in the 1980s. You know, there was a whole line, multiple lines of these types of books. This is 1986. And finally, another Sweet Dreams miniseries, On Our Own. Best Friends Forever. A Sweet Dreams miniseries. So this looks like the final book of the series. Book number 6. All right, so that's it for Sweet Dreams. Now we come to Caprice, which was a competing line from Tempo Books, which I think was an imprint of Ace. We'll see here. So this is book number 42. There's a little proof of purchase stamp there that I guess you're supposed to clip. There's the Caprice titles. Well, there's the thing about the proof of purchases. You can win various items there. Caprice Romance from Tempo Books. It was published by Berkeley, it looks like. So Tempo is an imprint of Berkeley Books. This is from 1984. And that was book 42. This is book number 45. Again from 1984. You can see these are around, well, just under 150 pages. So similar to like a Harlequin romance, maybe a little fewer pages. Harlequins usually had just under 200. But you can imagine these being, very popular with teen girls in the 1980s. And plus they have the numbers on them so you can collect them all. And obviously someone did. Like I said, I bought these at a thrift store. And there were some other teen, like YA type semi-romance. I didn't get most of the ones that were not really romance. But those belong to the same owner, I believe. Some more titles of Caprice romances. And if you look on a website like FictionDB, they'll have fictiondb.com will have in fact, maybe I'll put some links to them in the description of this video where you can look at indexes of some of these series. And they don't really have much in the way of cover images, though. I looked up the ones for Caprice and Sweet Dreams and, was not very not too illustrated. It was basically just a list of titles. Even when you click on the part to show you the images, they don't have cover images for most of these. This is from 1985. All right, this one is book number 62. You notice the little alligator on her shirt there. Little preppy look that was popular at the time. And Summer Romance, book number 67. This almost looks like Courtney Cox, doesn't she? There's the proof of purchase. More Caprice titles. And some more Caprice titles. And the copyright info. All right. This is book number 68 of Caprice. You know, it was unusual back then for romance novels to have photo covers. There were a couple lines that had them. Finding Mr. Right, I think, was one that had, you know, for adults that had photo covers. But it wasn't really till like the 2000s that photo covers, you know, become more common, that you'll see on, you know, Harlequin romances and stuff. They'll use models instead of having artists drawn. But back in the 80s, these teen lines would more commonly feature, you know, photographs instead of drawings, or instead of, you know, paintings or illustrations. And, you know, it could be said that these probably sort of replaced romance comic books. You know, romance comic books died out in the 1970s. You know, they had a sort of slow decline, but they were still being published by both DC and Charlton and Marvel Comics until the mid-70s. And in the case of Charlton, they wound down their line in the late 70s along with the rest of their comic books. So at that point, there wasn't any, you know, by the time these comics, I mean, these paperback books were being published, there were no romance comics. So if you were, you know, a teen girl, you know, you would read these instead. So it sort of, I think they kind of replaced romance comics. And of course, you know, the comic book industry being so dominated by men and superhero fans, they had no interest in trying to get back some of that market, you know, trying to get some of the same readership that these paperback books were obviously getting. So this is book number 80, Head Over Heels by Charlotte White of Caprice. There's the gift ideas. All right, so that's it for that. Now, here's a Windswept mystery romance that I got. Let's see, this says book number 26 on the side there. You can see it says mystery romance. This one is like heavily creased on the cover. But in a previous video, I showed another Windswept video. I bought this some time back. This also has a crease in the same place, obviously, oddly enough. But Windswept was sort of a Gothic romance or romantic suspense, sort of a romantic suspense for teenagers, which is an interesting hybrid, subgenre. Teen romance suspense, mystery romance. And it was his own line. So this one doesn't have the book number on it. So this is by Scholastic. Let's see it, make sure it's by the same. Now this is also by Scholastic, who of course are known for their, being a publisher of teen or young adult or kids stuff. A Windswept book. Here's more Windswept titles from Scholastic. You can see they're all kind of a Date with Danger, Phantom Light, Mysterious Summer, Dark Magic, House of Fear, by Dorothy Woolfolk, who I wonder, I'm just going offhand here, I have not looked this up, but wasn't Dorothy Woolfolk involved at DC Comics? Like the wife of William Woolfolk, as I think she was an editor maybe of their romance stuff. Not sure, could be a different person, but that would be an interesting. Miriam Lynch is a well-known writer. Something I'll have to look into after I make this video. All right, now here's two non-romance books. Really, they're they're sort of young adult books, but they're from the same owner of these other ones. Had also bought this one. This is from Avon Books, and it's called Flair Fiction, which I guess was their sort of line of teen books. So this one is about this is written by a male writer, James Howe. What's it like to have an operation? An Avon Flair book. And this one is from 1983. Or no, this is the first Flair printing is April 1985. The summary is, when 11-year-old Maria must go to the hospital for open-heart surgery, she finds strength in her friendship with a badly scarred burn victim. So this may be a very touching story. All right, and here's another teen book. You Don't Have to Be a Perfect Girl by Patricia Axe. This is by Scholastic. (1981). All right, now we have two more books. These are mystery novels, though. A Zebra Mystery Puzzler was the name of this series, and again, these were, from the same person who bought all those other books you just saw. They have their name on the front and inside cover, typed up and on a sticker there, so that these were also their books. So they were buying a lot of these books at the time from the 1980s. This is book number 35 of A Zebra Mystery Puzzler, the novel that lets you be the detective. There's the back cover description. You can always pause the video if you want to stop and read it. Dancing with Danger. Can you solve the crime in the Zebra Mystery Puzzle? So the reason, you'll notice that the pages are chopped back here. The reason that they're all choppy is that apparently these were originally sealed. There was, they weren't trimmed, and then you had to cut the pages open if you wanted to figure out what the answer to the mystery was. to read the final chapter, which is an interesting idea. Every woman needs a little mystery in her life. Find it with Zebra Mystery Puzzlers, the novels that let you be the detective. And showing some other books that are in the series. So these were obviously aimed at female readers, since it says every woman needs a little mystery. Interesting. You know, I'd never heard of this series before, although chances are I may have seen them on the shelves at the time, who knows. Here's book number 39. This is the only other one I have. Looks like the Oscar there. The Zebra Mystery Puzzler. So it's an Academy Award related mystery. He was smashed over the head with an Oscar. Some other titles in the series. There's Miriam Lynch again. So she contributed to this series too. 1979. So these are a little earlier than I thought they were. I thought they were 1980s, but looks like this is 1979. And again, this one has the things where the reader has, the previous owner has torn open the sealed page that concealed the last chapter. I guess you're supposed to write what you think is going to happen on here, and then you read the chapter. All right, so we just got a few more books left here. This is a book by Phyllis A. Whitney, Nobody Likes Trina. Phyllis A. Whitney wrote young adult books. She wrote romantic suspense, historical. She wrote all sorts of stuff. Oh, there she is right there, too. There's a photo of her. Phyllis A. Whitney. So it's sort of forgotten in some ways, but you know, if you were a fan of like Victoria Holt and people like that, you probably read Phyllis A. Whitney at the time too, back in the 70s and 80s. Other signet books by Phyllis A. Whitney. There's a whole bunch of them. These are probably young adult books, but like I said, she didn't write only young adult books. It's a signet book. This is from 1972, but it says first printing April 1976. There's the contents page. As you can see, it's not very, it's not like written down to kids or anything. This is like written as if, you know, the same as if, you know, for an adult. It's not like one of the easy to read books. There's biographical information about Phyllis A. Whitney. All right. Also from the same owner of that book, or I think this one, I don't think this one actually has a, oh, it does, yeah, it has that person's name in it. It's a Gothic romance, published by Signet. Down a Dark Hall by Lois Duncan. A girls' school or a psychic prison? She stood frozen in horror. She closed her eyes and screamed. Other Signet young adult titles you'll enjoy by Lois Duncan and other authors. So this was considered perhaps a young adult book. Well, like I said, it looks like a Gothic. This one's from 1975, although written in 1974. It's an authorized reprint of a hardcover edition. There's the opening page. About the author, Lois Duncan. Other signet titles. Signet books by Phyllis A. Whitney, who we were just discussing there. And another thing. All right, and then two books here that don't really qualify as romance at all, but they happen to be in the same purchase. And again, this one was from the same person who bought all those other books. This is just a zebra horror novel. So it says there's zebra horror. Dew Claws. So it's like a skeleton playing the banjo. Thrillers and Chillers from Zebra Books. Some William W. Johnstone, the late William W. Johnstone, but under his name, Westerns are still being published today. And this book is from 1986. So it came out around the same time that the owner of this book was buying those, Sweet Dreams books. There's some old-fashioned zebra mysteries still being published in the 1980s, including Fu Manchu and Ellery Queen and Mary Roberts Reinhardt. And then finally, here is just a Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys super mystery, where they together in an all-new adventure. At this time in the 1980s, Nancy Drew books, which previously had been published in hardcover, for decades, they started doing Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys books in paperback, which makes sense because that was what, that's where the audience was, as seen from all these other books we just looked at. They were buying paperback books. And this one from, let's see, it says YA novel from Archway Paperbacks. And again, still credited to Carolyn Keene, even though Hardy Boys is by Franklin Dixon. But River Heights was a spin-off series from Nancy Drew's hometown, which is where Nancy Drew lived. That had its own numbered series. Nancy and Drew and Hardy Boys Super Mysteries. But again, they also had their own separate mysteries at this time, too. The Archway was an imprint of pocketbooks. That's from 1991. New Year's Eve Evil. I have a few of these, but as you can see, they're more large print, so even though they're thicker books. And the Nancy Drew files and the Hardy Boys case files were the regular series, where they individual series. So if you wanted to buy Nancy Drew's, you would read these. This is the Nancy Drew files, which was the paperback series. As you can see, they had a ton of them. And same with Hardy Boys. And then also the super mysteries, where they team up for more mystery, more thrills, and more excitement. Alright, so that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I did get a lot more books when I bought all these last week, but I'll show those in a future video because they're sort of unrelated to all the rest of this stuff. There's no young adult or anything like that. They're mostly paranormal and historical. All right, so thanks for watching.